So the reason I was given by New York State why I can't do rain catchment is because they're worried about contamination. They're worried about, yeah, I put a steel roof on, so there's no contamination from asphalt, shingles, or anything, but they're worried about, like, bird droppings on the roof getting into the water. And then I say, well, you know what? I've done this out in New Mexico, and that doesn't seem to be an issue out there. I have a 60 mesh, a 100 mesh, a 500, and 1,000 mesh filters, and then drinking water goes through a ceramic, like basically a rock, a ceramic candle filter with impregnated silver in it. And I say that's always been fine out there. And there's birds, things happen on the roof. There's bugs and stuff that get in there. And they say, they didn't know too much, and I didn't do a lot more research on the topic yet, but they said it's not good enough. You're going to want something like UV. And I say, okay, I can get UV. And they're like, well, there's no code in place that allows you to do any of that, that states like what the requirements are. So the funny thing is that, the reason why I can't do this is not because it won't work, but it's because there's just no law in place that dictates how I can do it. Here's the other funny thing. They'll let me. They have no problem with me doing rainwater catchment and drinking the water or anything, as long as I have a drilled well hooked up to my house already and I already have my certificate of occupancy. Like, I could literally drill a well into the ground, hook it up to the house, never use it, only use rainwater catchment, and they will allow that. It's ridiculous. Here's the other funny part. They're worried about, bacterial contamination from like bird droppings and such. They're also worried about the occasional acid rain, which supposedly happens here. But at the same time, they're telling me to drill a well into bedrock. It's going to cost me thousands and thousands of dollars. No guarantee that I'm even going to get good water, good potable water. So I'm just going to flash forward for a second here. I already drilled this well. This is already in the past. I've done this. My well is filled with colloidal clay and sulfur gas. So yeah, sulfur gas will off gas, but the colloidal clay is suspended in the water. I have to get an expensive filtration system to filter that out if I want to use it, and or at least drink it or use it inside for non-potable water. Can't run all this mucky clay water through my system. So you basically are forced to drill a well, completely gamble, spend all this money, gamble on the fact that you're going to have good water, have completely horrible water, and you're required to do that to get your certificate of occupancy, where you can't catch rainwater, which may be contaminated or not contaminated. But the groundwater, the water in the ground, in the bedrock, is contaminated also with clay. So, God, I think it's just one of these things where there's a lack of law dictating how I can catch rainwater. It's very frustrating. But, I've already bit the bullet. I just had to spend the money to get the well, and I'm going to have to spend more money catching rainwater. Just the way it's going to have to go. I know a lot of my viewers have said that, they don't know why I'm doing this in New York and stuff. Well, you know what? I'm doing it in New York because this is where my friends and family are. This is where I work. This is where I need to be. That's just the way it has to go, and these are some of the concessions that I have to make in order to be here. So be it. I am at the mercy of New York State, and I have to be okay with that.